Welcome to the third issue of Just Historic Rallying. We're here for the fifth round of the British Historic Rally Championship, based here in Newtown, the Mid Wales stages. In fact, I think you found that's all the historic. Sorry. Right, David, you are leading the championship overall at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment it's all pretty close, but I don't think anything really comes into play until anyone drops more than 2 scores, and nothing to come into play really until after the 7th round, which is at the end of the Belgium rounds, because there's twos and fro's and takeoffs and giveaways and worse scores and what have you. So
what happens then? So you're allowed, out of the 9 rounds,
your best 7 scores count.
Right, okay.
And so therefore you're allowed 2 non-finishes, effectively.
280 brake horsepower of American V8, pushing the silk car along, but if it's wet and slippery, it doesn't matter if you've got 50 horsepower or 150 or 300, it makes no difference.
Why?
So we're hoping, because you just spin the wheels. Too much power is an embarrassment. That's why the Porsches do well when it's slippery.
Right, Steve, it's that close, the points, and all to play for, so what's the plan going to be? You really are like that much behind, Mr. Stokes.
Don't wind us up now, come on. No, seriously, David's in his own race, isn't he? So he's got other people that he's got to worry about, and we'll see how we go.
So it's Patrick, you and Dessie that are going to be battling it out there.
That's it, yeah. If I can beat them, I've done all I can. So yeah, that's what we're aiming to do, obviously.
Have you done these stages before?
Yeah, we did this event last year in the Escort and came second. I think that's because everybody else fell off.
So modest.
I think they did, actually. And we did the Bulldog, so some of these stages were used on the Bulldog. So yeah, I've been through here 3 times in the last 2 years, I suppose, yeah. So I think they're mixing up the Sweet Lamb complex a fair bit anyway, so I think that means that even the people that know it will know bits, but not all of it, I hope. So we'll see.
We're on the second stage of the day, Sweet Lamb. Behind me you can see the course opening car, and a minute after that it'll be the historics and the beautiful post-historic cars. The first stage of the rally was Hafren North 1. Steve Smith and John Nichols had taken second fastest time, and they repeated this in Sweet Lamb, ending the day's second historic. Dessie Nutt and Geraldine McBride were third fastest historic in SS1 and again in SS2, leaving them third overall historic at the end of the day. Patrick Watts and Elgan Davies led the field by 6 seconds on SS1 from Steve Smith, a lead which they increased by a further 11 seconds in Sweet Lamb, thus finishing the day's first historic. Graham Waite and Mike Reynolds, in their Volvo Amazon, claimed a second fifth fastest time here on the Sweet Lamb stage. Whilst Neil Calvert and Arlene Cookson finished fourth fastest historic and first in Class B4 with a 22-second lead at the end of the leg. Leading Class B4 drivers in the championship at the moment, and second fastest B4 competitor on the second stage of the day was Chris Green, partnered by his wife Hilary. The only entry in B3 in a Cortina GT was Tim Beale and Peter Dalton. Gwelin Roberts and Gua Hughes in their Cortina Lotus finished the day 7th historic. Keith Pettit and Sharon Shivler in the Lotus Cortina. Another crew from Class B4, and again in a Lotus Cortina, Hugh Carell and Mike Gamlin. In Class B4, but clearly not in a Cortina, was Malcolm Bayliss and Darren Leach in a very rare historic Escort twin cab. Not eligible for the championship, but still, however, eligible to run under MSA historic rally rules. another of the championship husband and wife teams in their Austin Mini Cooper, Philip and Barbara Smith. The all-girl team of Alison Locke and Jodie Watson. Lots of problems. In a Saab 96, Nick Pinkett and Julian Looking. Mike Barrett is seen here battling to make up for lost time. He has caught and passed John Parker, co-driven by Robert Harrison.
We're having a horror. We lost the clutch. Before the start of the second stage, we had to have a flying start, had to be bump started. And then we had a great stage time. I was so angry. I flew through there like a man possessed. But we probably lost, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes.
Unfortunately, Mike and Michelle were excluded due to a technical timing infringement. John's reason for losing time was due to the loss of the wheel. Taking a 10-second lead over the first 2 stages of the day, and first post-historic car on the stages was championship leader David Stokes and Ian Oakey in a Ford Escort RS 1600. In a 16-valve RS 2000, set 2 second fastest times of the day. Whilst Dominic Frattaroli and Wynne Thomas in their beautifully prepared Datsun 240Z were third. Martin Freestone and Chris Hayes were the first of the classic cars. They were also first fastest on Hafren, but second here on Sweet Lamb. And Ryland James managed to take Freestone's lead by just 1 second in the stage, leaving them first classic Jeff Deering, the third classic competitors, set third fastest times on both stages in the ex-Roger Clark Breakfast 1800. James and David Young finished Saturday's Loop of Stages fourth in the post-historic class. Irishmen Frank Cunningham and Aaron Ford were out for the first time this season. Eighth in Hafren, the crew just outside the top 10 in Sweet Lamb. Ricky Prophet and Dave Alcock were fourth on the first stage of the day, but problems on the second saw them lose 3 minutes. Samuel and Tony Phillips had a successful run in stage 1, but in Sweet Lamb things weren't so good. After hitting one of the jumps a little too hard, the crew had to pull over to investigate a disturbing noise from the engine. Ken Foster and John Stanger leads in the Le Mans Green Escort, the 6th fastest on Hafren and 7th in Sweet Lamb. Are you going to warn them, Paul? Class C5 competitors Neil and Chris Parsons in their Ford Escort RS. Paul Pastishu and John Cadwalder out for their second event of the season. Shyam retiring Andrew Street and Jez Mason in their Porsche 911, a new car this year for Andrew. Mark O'Leary and Paul Dolby were 10th people on the first stage of the day and 6th fastest. Salter and Preston Ayres set top 10 times in both Hafren and Sweet Lamb. Graham Samuels was still busy trying to mend his stricken car. Whilst Ian Drummond and Tom Ward lay just outside the top 10 in 12th. Back to the classic category with Ian Ricks and Simon Sperry in an RS 1800. Unfortunately, Graham and Tony had to concede defeat and push their car out of harm's way. Mark and Brett Clifford in their flat front RS 2000. Another of the BHRC's shine retiring characters, Graham Wilson, with co-driver Keith Fellows in a Tuttle prepared Porsche 911. John Worthing and Bill Robertson in a Mark I Mexico set 7th fastest time in SS1 and 5th fastest in Sweet Lamb. In another Tuttle prepared Porsche 911, Peter Liddell and Jill Cotton. Chris Gravestock and Mark Palmer in their Ford Escort. Paul Drinkle and Roy Brown in a Porsche 911 RS were equal 12th on the Sweet Lamb stage. Peter Whitaker and Malcolm Smithson Lawrence Green and Andrew Turner. Duncan Piercy and Andy Ballantyne in a Datsun 240Z. Hugh and Debbie Myers in the third and final of the Datsun 240Zs out on this event. Second time out for the Fiat 124 Special T of Nigel Kelsall and Peter Davies, ended with a broken clutch lever between SS2 and service. And so, as Mike Halley reported, the crew enjoyed a good meal at the end of the day and a day spectating of the second leg of the rally. Paul Morris and Martin Jones in an Escort Mark II. Julian and Vicky Birch in the Talbot Sunbeam Lotus. Adrian Young and Paul Williams in an Escort Mark II. Due to a puncture, Richard Perry and Clive Townsend dropped time and are seen here in the Talbot Sunbeam, the final car on the Sweetland stage, day one of the Mid Wales stages. Okay, so that's it. The two stages of the day on the Mid Wales stages over, and the crews are now in service before they go to Parc Fermé. And as you can see by my coat, it was a little bit muddy. Thank you, Mr. Stokes and Mr. Lawrence.
Well, one was fast, relatively smooth. Two was just sort of Sweetland, which is sort of gravelly on the top, and I thought it was as rough as old boots actually. But it doesn't really suit us because you can't get into the sides of it because there's big old rocks everywhere. So we're 17 seconds down on Patrick, and that doesn't feel very good actually after 15 miles. So he's taking our pants down at the moment, and I think we're about 22 seconds ahead of Dessie. So.
Yeah, not too bad actually. The first one lost the brakes, bored the brake fluid on the first stage. I've been doing this left foot brake in, so got a bit hot. But yeah, second stage perfectly fine. Took the jumps a bit too quick in Sweet Lamb, but other than that, no problems.
Good actually, apart from having a bit of a blonde moment at the start of the second stage and driving off with the handbrake on. Yeah, apart from that, fine.
And if tomorrow's half as good as those two, we should be enjoying it. Yeah, excellent.
Not a good day today, Michelle. Not a good day at all. A wheel fell off.
Very good. I went as quick as I could by being unsafe and making sure I get here. And I think it's fastest time on both of them. I don't know, not confirmed, but I think we got 10 on Jeremy and about 42 on Dominic, I think.
Just been hopeless, so far off the pace. Normally we're there or thereabouts with these guys, the escorts, but it's just, we thought it was going all right, but it's not. We're really so far off. The last time I was this far off and couldn't make an understanding of it was on the Bulldog last year. We realised we've got a problem with the engine when the cam had worn, but I don't know. I have no idea what to do now.
Shame. Jeremy, any tips?
You'll just keep your right foot in a bit harder, I think.
I think that's probably helped.
Well, I meant on the throttle, not the brake.
Go on, tell us about your first 2 stages.
It's going fine. I mean, we're roughly on the pace, so where we want to be, really. Nice.
Right, 2 stages down. Tell us about them.
Pretty straightforward, really. Martin robbed us on the first one and we took a little bit back on the second, so we're pretty equal at the moment.
Yeah.
Keeps it interesting.
Well, I had to stop for an ice cream on the second one.
Oh, yeah.
That's why. Yeah, we watched him go through the bowl, so we lost a bit on that.
Well, alternators again, festering light back on again, and so you think about that and drive lousy stages.
First time in gravel, first time in rear wheel drive. This is the first for everything. You know, at least I have the right hat on. It's a mini hat. I should be in my mini, but next time maybe. We're trying to find out what this is. We're going to come back next year and give it a real serious go.
Today we're leading the class by 5 seconds. A little bit slow, I thought. Not quite as quick as we normally are.
Yeah, first stage quite good, reasonable time, but we were pleased with it. Second stage, big jump in the bowl. Started rattling his head off, lost of power, pulled up. We thought we'd rattled it, and took the belts off, took the helmets off, plug lead off. So whapped it back on, but dropped 3 minutes.
First one was a little bit rough, not a lot of grip, but I suspect that was probably me. And on top of that, we had the throttle sticking open, which isn't great for confidence.
Oh, they were a bit twitchy, these first 2 stages. Hopefully, I know I got new tyres on. Be better tomorrow.
Good, yeah. Another learning curve. What can I say? It's just getting quicker and quicker. There's a lot more to come from the car. Whether I'm brave enough to use it, I don't know, but it's going well. Yeah, I think it's going to be a 3-way scrap between the Porsches tomorrow, so that should be good fun.
Yeah, we had a bit of a rev limiter problem, so we've disconnected it now, so hopefully we can go a bit better, so hopefully we'll get round tomorrow.
One of the turrets cracked and we had to re-weld it in at the start. Tuthill and his guys loaned us some gear, and one of my guys welded it up. It looks a bit ropey, but it's done the job so far, and I just frightened myself to death on 2. We've just used 7 of 9 lives up. Clipped a wheel, bent a wheel, blah blah blah. But
very good. Hafren was rough in the middle. There were bits of it you think, save the car, don't be stupid. But quite nice. Sweet Lamb was good. Had quite a good run on Sweet Lamb. Felt pretty good about it. In fact, I'm ready to go again now. Tomorrow, looking forward to it. There's 3 of us. The 3 Porsches we're looking at, and we're within about 13 seconds between the 3 of us. So it's really close, which is good. So we'll go out tomorrow and we'll all have a good go at it.
Pretty good. Stalled in Sweet Lamb on the hairpin. Otherwise, a pretty clean run.
Not too bad. Bit of a problem with the axle at the moment, but it's moved. But not a lot we could do about it at service, so.
No, we're all right. We had a little bit of a problem with the exhaust on the last stage, so we had to do a few repairs, but apart from that, all good today.
Right.
Well, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stage 1, plug lead drops off.
Great.
6 miles on 3 cylinders.
Not good.
Not good.
Yeah, the stage was a good bit, rough in some places by the time we got through, but other than that, good fun.
Well, very good. Stage in super condition. You know, we didn't go off once, so we can't be going fast enough. But yeah, we kept it in one piece for tomorrow.
Brilliant. Always brilliant for me. Not quick enough, but brilliant.
Good. Great fun. Lots of fun. Unfortunately, we broke the rear anti-roll bar bracket.
Going very well. Excellent. Very nice run. A little bit rough on one place and a bit slippery in places, but great.
Well, we have to say, that was a jump and a half.
It was, wasn't it? Frightened me a bit. I had to check all the suspension when we got back.
That really was a jump and a half.
That was the second one, yeah.
Was that planned or unplanned?
No, I cut the corner going into it, and I didn't realise it was... tomorrow I'm going to stay in the middle, because I didn't realise the road went that sharp. You know.
Fraught.
Why?
Well, this is our first go in Wales, and our first go on pace notes, and it was somewhat confusing, I think. But we finished. We're here so far. Looking forward till tomorrow. Cheers.
A detour on Sweet Lamb, I went on the wrong direction, but my fault.
Could you say that again as a driver?
My fault.
Well, it's our first historic rally. It's the second ever rally altogether. So.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we did the Red Dragon about 5 weeks ago. So.
Oh, not so good so far. About 3 miles from the end of the first stage, we had a puncture on the back, and it just shredded the tyre. We made the right choice to drive to the finish on it, but we lost quite a bit of time.
Day 2 in Special Stage 3 was Hafren Forest 2. Repeat of Special Stage 1. Steve Smith and his XS Racing prepared Porsche picked up the pace, fastest historic in 9 minutes 4 seconds, 6 seconds ahead of overnight leader Patrick Watts. Stokes took a further 3 seconds out of Geraldine here in Special Stage 3. Gareth Lloyd took fastest time in the Classics, 10 seconds ahead of Freestone. we're at Junction 3, Stage 4 of the rally, Nant Melen. Steve Smith and John Nichols again set the fastest time, with Patrick Watts and Dessie Nutt second and third fastest.
Life on the outside, living in the wind. Don't know where you're coming from, I don't know where you've been. Don't try to put it down, don't rip your soul. Sometimes it seems to me escape's your only goal. You're living on both times, your time is running out. Got a hold to a dream, we got to stay it out. Change up convention, the force your skill. Your life seems to me so unreal. Some say it's crazy to conform, but unlike you, don't want to be uniform. I need my freedom, but that's so wrong. When really understand, I don't need to be alone. They'll try to change you and wash your brain. Come back around and use you again. So live your life and don't run mine. I'm every one day you'll see my point in time.
Unfortunately for Dave Stokes, it was game over as the clutch gave out completely on this stage. Melen saw the demise of Dominic Frattaroli, his third London of the season.
Well, actually, we retired because of the rear drive shaft. But before that, on Hafren, we had an indiscretion. But everybody were there. I think everybody, with the camera crews, everything. So it was obviously a bad bend. But we dragged it straight out. We lost about a minute. So no cosmetic damage, no other damage, and. We got on to the second stage just towards the end, pushed the shaft and ended the rally.
hand side.
What, was I going to say all that? Right, what a great place for a service area. After the crews have tinkered and fixed or not fixed and wiped and cleaned the cars, 100 yards down the road, here you go. The rally's on, right before their eyes. Wonderful. Have you had an excursion?
We did. We had a little excursion. Basically, Steve must have pulled a bit of a flanky yesterday. He must have got it stuck in first gear or something or other, because once we heard his first stage time today, we realised we're going to have to go a bit quicker. And I'm going as quick as I possibly can, to the extent I went in the ditch. But we lost 2 or 3 seconds. I mean, luckily there was nothing in the ditch.
So you're going back
other than me for a short time.
Yes, and your co-driver,
Yeah.
bless him.
We've got our heads down. Yeah, I have to say that I drove neatly, tidily, prettily, everything else yesterday, but not fast. And that's just ridiculous. So yeah, we've set about it today, and I think we're taking chunks out of everybody, so that's good.
No, it's been a good morning. The stages are in great condition, and we're enjoying ourselves. Very good.
This stage is fast and furious, and it's just gravel everywhere, so you've a job to keep the car in a straight line. But it's really good. I'm enjoying it. We set off this morning about 20 seconds in front of Chris and Hillary, but they've pulled time back on us. So they're either I think there's only a couple of seconds in it each way. So the battle is still on.
The plan for the rest of the day?
Well, we're not competitive with the Cortinas today, so I've had the last 2 rallies retired with the problem, so I want to get a finish. So we'll see who's behind us.
We're certainly going a lot better this morning than we did yesterday. Really off yesterday, don't particularly know why, but yeah, a lot happier this morning. Yeah. Car's going well, drivers getting the hang of it again and enjoying it.
You've had a 30-minute service.
Yes.
Anything?
No, touch wood. Everything is fine at the moment, touch wood.
Okay. And what are the notes like?
Fine, they're brilliant. They are. No fault at all.
No, I watched those
Except
cars.
all the bumps. Very bumpy, very rough, and a lot of fresh air.
Well, Alison, how's it going?
Not too bad. We lost the trip meter on the way out to the first stage this morning on the road section, so we've been sort of guessing a bit as to where we needed to go, but fortunately followed a Cortina on the one road section that we might have had a problem with, so we managed to get to the right place at the right time, which was good. Had a bit of trouble engaging first gear at one point, but other than that, not too bad. A bit rough in places.
No problems?
We've got a few rattles, but what do you expect on a 40-year-old motor car?
What happened?
The D-piece in the clutch has come out or broke and jammed up the clutch.
So for like mortals like me, what does that mean?
Well, when you push your foot on the clutch, you've got a clutch fork underneath and it goes through the hydraulic system. Clutch fork pushes on the release bearing, and on a BDA on the ZF site, you've got a D-piece of steel.
Yep.
It's about almost a inch wide, I suppose, and it's only D-clamped like that, and it sits in the grooves. It's obviously snapped or come out or something and jammed into the clutch.
And that's where it happened, where we saw it?
Right there, yeah.
He was going really, really well again. That first stage this morning when he had a clear run, he took 3 seconds out of us, so he was getting a bit closer to him, but he was certainly on the pace.
So that means that you're going to be flying?
Now I'm going to take my time and behave myself, hopefully. The competition's now gone with David going, to be honest, so we've just got to get a finish now and hopefully just stop where we are. But that's easier said than done, because something stupid can always go wrong.
I thought I was going to be on the same pace as Gareth, but he's gone.
You're joking?
No, he's doing a second a mile. So whether it's local knowledge or not, or I'm just an old wuss, I don't know.
We're having a good run today this morning. We've sort of woken up and gone hard from the word go. And I think we took some time out of Jeremy in there. So I think so, yeah. I think we took 9 off him on the long run in there.
Tell us about those stages, Ricky.
Lovely. 13-mile stage is always fantastic to have a long stage through the bowl, and when you've got people watching, you just, it's just a bit of showmanship.
Special stage 8 and the final stage of the day was Ceri. Stephen John's overnight chat worked. Fastest on every stage of the second day, the crew took home their 3rd win of the season. Dessie Nutt and Geraldine McBride finished the event 3rd overall and 3rd in the championship. Despite a detour when a sharp right-hander came up too soon, Patrick and Elgan finished the event 2nd overall. Neil Calvert and Arlene Cookson had had an excellent run and brought their Lotus Cortina over the finish line 1st in class and 4th overall. The Volvo Amazon of Graham Waits and Mike Reynolds finished 3rd in class and 6th overall. Battled with Neil Calvert throughout the rally, finished the day 5th overall and 2nd in class. Class winner was the Cortina GT, Tim Beale and Pete Dalton. Welch boys William Roberts and Guar Hughes at the home Another impressive run by Matthew and Duke Pearce gave them a class win and a 7th place in the championship. Keith Pettit and Sharon Shilver finished the day 6th in class 4. Hugh Carell and Mike Gamlin rounded off the top 10 historic finishers. Philip and Barbara Smith have had some bad luck this season and had a faultless run here on the Mid Wales Historic Rally and finished the day 2nd in class. Alison Locke and Jodie Watson also enjoyed a trouble-free run, finishing 3rd in class. Nick Pinkett and Julian Luckin lost their sparring partners John Parker and Robert Harrison at the end of the 1st day, and they finished 1st in Class B1. With Dave Stokes out, Jeremy Easton and Den Golding flew into the lead, setting fastest times on 4 of the second day's 6 stages, finishing 1st overall and 5th overall in the championship. Martin Freestone had enjoyed a friendly battle with Gareth Lloyd for 1st Classic, but couldn't quite catch the Welsh crew, and finished 2nd Classic at the end of the day, although he did finish fastest on the final stage of the day. Gareth Lloyd and Ryland James had set 6 out of 8 fastest times during the rally and ended the day 1st Classic. Seven 3rd fastest times and a 2nd saw Dick Slaughter and Jeff Deering receiving 3rd place in the Classics. Second overall in the post-historics, and first in class were James and David Young, over 2 minutes ahead of second C3 runners Chris Gravestock and Mark Hammer. Just 23 seconds behind the Youngs, Ken Foster and John Stangley right back at the finish line, third overall. A result that put them into second overall in the championship. Ricky Profit had been lying third until this, the final stage of the day. He went off and lost over a minute to finish third in class. Neil and Chris Parsons finished second in class C5. Whilst Andrew Street and Jez Mason were very happy to finish second in class, as Andrew explained, there's plenty more to learn about the car. Frank Cunningham and Aaron Ford's first trip out in the Escort saw them go home with a respectable fifth in class. Desio and John Cadwalder finished fourth in class. Craig Salter and Preston Ayres in their distinctive blue and white checkered RS, paired by Craig, took second in class. Mark and Clifford finished first in class. Ian Ricks and Simon Sparrow, fourth in class and sixth overall. Mark O'Leary and Paul Dolby were sixth in class. Graham Wilson and Keith Fennell rolled the Porsche back third in class and eighth overall. John Worthing and Bill Robertson finished fourth overall and second in class. Ian Drummond and Tom Ward ended the day third in class. A fantastic result for Peter Lethell and Jill Cotton, first of the Porsches in Class C4 and sixth overall. Chris Gravestock and Mark Harmer, second in Class C3. Paul Drinkle and Roy Brown's Porsche 911 RS rounded off the top 10. Lawrence Green and Andrew Turner ended the day with a very respectable third in class. The 240Z of Duncan Piercy and Andy Ballantyne came home sixth in class. Hugh and Debbie Myers enjoyed their battle in the Datsun 240Zs against Duncan and Andy, finishing fifth in class. And rounding up the field was Julian and Vicky Birch in the Talbot Sunbeam Lotus.
Hung it out a bit, but not desperately, and we've got the big boys under control. And I think Patrick went off on the last but one stage, and through a fence and things. He'll tell you all about that.
No, we went off the road on a 6, which is a tight one to you viewers, on a 6, which was followed by lots of fast sort of ones, and this 6 came up rather quickly. So we went down the bank, through a hedge, through a fence, did a U-turn in the field, looked for the gate, found the gate, opened the gate. Yeah. We must admit we didn't close it, but it was only full of sort of kale. Was it kale?
Country,
it was quite
not
slippery.
cows, kale.
No, kale. And then we got going again, and we only lost 30 seconds.
Oh, wow. So
'Cause
second.
I drove like a loony thereafter, so we retained our second place.
It was very tough, a lot tougher than I expected, even though it's quite a short rally, but it was extremely tough. What can I say? We'll be back again. We need to get a bit better at it, and we will. We'll keep at it till we do.
Now, last night we did ask you, is this the sort of, let's see if we're going to enjoy the historics, and then we're going to see you for a full round next year?
Oh, you're definitely going to see me for a full round next year, and then it'll be a different story.
No, because we had 3 minutes yesterday, and then I threw it off on the last stage for a minute.
We weren't supposed to have done that,
I know,
Ricky.
but I was getting so excited, and this road was all long and fast and everything, and I was just going in top gear as quick as I could, and then some silly bugger put a bend at the end of it.
Well, I think we could be third with post-historic, but not sure. We haven't seen the rest of the stage times yet, so we're not counting our chickens yet. Had a great run though. What a lovely day it's been. Really smooth, not smooth forests, but the organisation's gone really well. Just gone like clockwork. There's been no delays.
Superb, great event. The only argument I would have is I think the time cards don't give you room to scribble.
If you've got writing like mine, you need room to scribble.
Absolutely, need room to scribble. Do little pictures, that kind of thing.
There he is. He's always smiling.
I try to, yeah. Got a good reason today. Hopefully we're second. We'll see. We haven't got the final results yet, but a very enjoyable day. Excellent. And yesterday as well.
I've had a little bit of a scare because we've had no starter motor for the last sort of group of 3 stages, so I've been having to concentrate a little bit more, but no, it's all gone fine.
Fantastic. Dan, a word?
Fabulous, second time on the trot. Won it last year on this year, so great, marvellous.
Happy with your result?
Yeah, I should have been quicker, really, but I'm happy with that. Yeah. Let's see what happens on the Manx, shall we?
Happy with first?
Yes, yeah, very happy, yeah, and happy not to have any problems because we haven't had a very good start to the year, but hopefully it'll get better from here on. But no, enjoyed it. Wasn't easy. Freestone kept on us on our toes all day, so no, it's good, but it's good to finish.